So good morning, everyone. Today we are working with the hips. We're going to be working on strengthening the hips, balancing the hips. We're also going to go into emotions and transforming emotions that are not serving us to those that serve us, emotions that cause us dukkha or suffering to those that allow us to open. I'm also going to be bringing in some neck and shoulder stuff because a lot of you with the Zoom life have that going on. So we're going to also work with that. And I think that's it today. So please find your spot. And you can use a mat or not. The first hour of the class is all standing. With my floor, I like to just feel the floor. And then when I lie down, I use a mat. And actually, when I first trained in India, that's how we always did it. There was no mat for the standing poses. Depends on how slippery your floor is. Exhale, bend your knees, roll your neck and shoulders down. And inhale, just looking up a little bit. So exhale like this. And inhale, you can just open the chest a bit. This is like a standing cat-cow. When you inhale, opening the chest, neck and shoulders, maybe thumbs back. Just notice how it feels in your shoulders. Is better with the palms down or up. What's the rotation feel like? Exhale, feel your feet. So this is our foundation, feel your feet. Are you weighting on one foot more than the other? And just notice that. You might be able to adjust it with your attention. But you will also find the practice itself will change how you're weighting into your feet, hopefully to more evenness. Let's add our awareness of the breath. Exhale with a ha sound. Really draw the belly in as you make that ha, from the belly button down to the pelvic floor, down to the feet. Inhale, expand the belly. And exhale, make that ha sound. From the belly button down to the feet. This is called a panavayu. Inhale. Pranavayu, bringing energy in. Prana. Exhale, apana, rooting. One more time. We're going to add Brahmari Pranayama, the humming breath. Pick any pitch that works for you. So you're all in your own room. So it's nice. You can do this. And adjust the length to your breath pattern, not mine. Notice the feeling of the sound in your body. Notice how the sound relaxes the mind. We're going to add Om now, if that's comfortable. Inhale, arms to the sides. If you like, you can visualize that radiant sun shining out of the heart. And then hands to the heart as we Om. Inhale. Try to make this sound by drawing the belly in as you make it. Notice how the sound lengthens your exhale. Hands at the heart. And if you like, place one hand at the heart and the other at the second chakra area, just below the belly button. It's connecting the refined or uplifted emotions of the heart, joy, peace, and even bliss. And then the more everyday emotions of that second chakra. The emotion might be pleasure, or it might be displeasure, and all the individual emotions linked to dukkha, suffering, or sukham, ease. Just notice what's going on for you these days in that realm. Are you feeling open, sukham, and at ease, or are you feeling a bit shut down, dukkha? Maybe name some of those. And then how's your heart feeling? Is it feeling open and joyful? Or is it feeling a bit closed? So the heart also can have that experience of opening and closing. Depending on how safe we feel. Just notice. Then maybe make an intention today, relate it to your emotional body. Maybe try to draw in one of those more resourced emotions that you'd like to connect with. May I feel joyful and at ease. May I feel loving kindness for myself and others, whatever it is. Or it might be, may I let go of something that you feel is blocking you. All right, when you're ready, release that. I'm going to bring my feet together. You can have them apart. You can have a block between the legs. You might have a belt on your ankles. Inhale, arms coming up. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands through the heart center and bow the head to the heart and then to the gut, the legs, the feet, right down to the earth. Inhale, expansiveness, perhaps sweeping your arms through that radiant sun of the heart. And exhale like a waterfall from the top of the head, down the front body, down all the way through the legs and feet to the earth. It helps you bring in this visualization. And keep this going in your own timing. And feel free to constrict the throat to create that Ujjayi pranayama. Sounds like the ocean. And just noticing the weight on your feet as you come down. Is it on one foot more than the other? And your focus can be slightly down ahead of you. It can be straight ahead, gazing at a point. You gaze straight ahead, it's a little bit more active. It's down, it's a little bit more internal, a little bit more meditative. And if you like, staying at the top. And those of you who've got some shoulder stuff going on, feel free to have the hands on the top of the head, the hands on the shoulders, hands here, or crossing, holding opposite elbows. And every time you exhale, dropping the shoulders down, and you can bring the heels down halfway or all the way. Inhale up. Another variation is interlocking the fingers, extending up. And as you exhale, stretch away with your hands up to the sky, and the heels coming down, and decompress underneath the rib cage. Feel that behind the rib cage as well, the backside. Inhale and exhale. Keeping the arms in line with the ears or a little bit forward even might be better for your shoulders. This is decompressing the spine, the upper back, into the lower back. So we were talking about during our check-in how sitting can really compress the spine. Not enough space, not enough sukham, openness, which can affect how we feel emotionally as well. We can feel a little less open. All right, so notice how you feel having done that. We're going to work side to side a little bit. So we're going to turn one foot out and the other one in. So we're going to work with the hips a bit. I'm just going to adjust my light a little bit so you guys can see me well. All right, so we're going to do Trikonasana, Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, arms up, and this is working with core strength, legs and feet, as well as hips. Exhale, I want you to imagine that imaginary wall that's behind you as you come down. And inhale up. Exhale down. We're going to do this a few times dynamically and then stay. Inhale. Exhale, that imaginary wall behind you stretching side, sticking the opposite hip out. And then ideally, you don't even put any weight on that leg. You're just hanging out there, using your core. And inhale. And exhale, release. Utthita Trikonasana, standing triangle. Inhale. Now start to exhale and then start to move. Engage the pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Try to align your shoulders. So keep high enough so that your shoulders are aligned. Don't go down like this. This is common, this understanding of the pose. It's not about reaching the foot. It's about aligning. Inhale, coming up. You want to look like a triangle. Many different triangles you're creating with your body now. We're going to stay. Inhale. Exhale. Now, focusing on the hips, keep your arm up, and I'm just going to show you. You might be feeling this area of your body, the side of the hip, QL, getting in there. You might be feeling that, decompressing. This is really good for the lower back. Now, inhale. Lengthen the arm along the ear. If this is too much, you can bend that knee and that'll take some of the pressure out for you. So I'm going to do it that way actually. And exhale, I'm going to straighten the leg and I'm going to look down. So you can do this with a straight leg, or I'm going to bend. Inhale, just to work those hips a bit more in a different way. And exhale, I'm turning the head. This is for the neck and shoulders, and my top arm is going back. Feel this in the side of my neck. A bunch of you had that going on in your body this morning. Inhale. And exhale. Keep this going your own timing. If it's too much, come out of the pose and rest and do a forward bend of your choice. One more. Really stretching long through the side body. Inhale, we're going to come up without the arms. You might feel like you've just worked a whole bunch on that side. My feet are now parallel. And we're going to turn to the other side. I'm going to angle the camera down just a touch. There we go. I think I forgot to do that after our check-in. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so inhale, arms up. Hopefully you can see my feet well. Exhale, sliding along that imaginary wall, drawing in from the pelvic floor up to the belly button, align the shoulders. So try to keep from doing this. Inhale up. Exhale, relax. Inhale, so my back foot is turned in a little bit so that I can move that hip more easily. Notice if one side feels easier than the other. Number 3, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now notice how this starts to feel in the hips. Inhale. This is number 4. We're going to stay now. Exhale. Notice this hip. I'm just going to bring my hand down to show you this area. It's getting into the lower back. You might be feeling it into the front of the hip, the side of the hip. Now draw the belly in, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Inhale, expand from the chest down if you can. Now adding on, you can bend that knee, bring the arm along the ear as you inhale, stretching all along the side body into the hip. Opening that front hip. Exhale, hand up and then straighten the leg, look down, neck and shoulders. Inhale, extend it side angle. And exhale. So we're combining Utthita Trikonasana right now with Parshva Konasana, side angle. Notice how that bend adds a bit more stretch. Inhale, extend, lengthen, open. Exhale, center. Doing about 4 to 6 of these. We're going to do one more. And then just come up without the arms. If you're staying for a while, just take it easy. Notice how you feel. Come back to the center, let your breath settle. So you probably feel like your breath has gone, breath rate has increased. Just let it settle back to normal. Observing the rise and fall of the breath. Okay, we're going to do a counter pose to that. We're going to bring the legs wide again. Now I really like this one because it's very playful. I hope you enjoy it. So this is another thing, and I noticed my friend I'm working with in fitness classes, she does a lot of this kind of work side to side, weighting one hip and then the other. So it's kind of a fitness thing, but when I was in India last, because I'd had a lot of success with that movement, I asked my teacher, Sridhar, how we do that in yoga, and he gave me this. And then I'm going to add on a little piece that I've added on. Inhale, arms coming up straight. This is a variation of Prasarita Pitta Uttanasana. Exhale, twisting to one side and then coming down. Now I've added the bending of the knees, so you weight even more into that leg. Inhale, arms coming up. Now your arms can be to overhead with opposite elbows or to the sides if there's too much weight on the back, or no arms. Twisting to this other side as you start to exhale and coming down, and I'm bending that knee. I'm just going to count a little bit more this side. Inhale up. You need quite a bit of room to do this with long arms, I'm realizing. And exhale, let's come forward. This is moving into the more classical pose. Prasarita Pitta Uttanasana. Inhale, coming up, arms side or front if you can. And exhale, release. That's one round. Okay. You can also do that with a straight leg as you come up and down, and just notice the difference. I like it with the bent. I feel I get more out of it. Inhale, focusing more on the hips. Inhale here. Start to exhale. Start to twist and come down. Do one arm too if it's too much. Just try one arm up. Start to exhale, start to twist. Inhale up. Exhale, center. Now this is a lot of work also on the feet, so if your feet get tired, you can just adjust them. Inhale. Oh, you're still on there, word bag. Good job. All right, we're going to do this again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side. Bending that knee. Inhale, up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, up. Exhale, center. Inhale up. Even when I go to the center, I bend my legs. Exhale, I bend my knees so that I decompress the spine as I do that and weight more into the hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, start to twist to one side, come down. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Okay, last time. Inhale. Exhale, twist down. Bending the knee. Inhale, so feel the strength and the stretch as you do this in the hips. Exhale, other side. So you're stretching one side and strengthening the other, strengthening the side. You're bending. It's a lot of work, that bending and straightening. And exhale, center. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. Okay, before I give you the next part of this, I'm going to let you have a break. If you're like me, your feet start to hurt after doing that a bit. It's a lot of work with the ankles. Okay, so when you feel ready, coming back out, for this version, I'm going to show you, you're going to be down. I'll show it front and then I'll actually show it side right away. I think it's easier for you to see. So you're going to come forward. You're going to come to one side. I'm going to bend that knee of the side I'm coming to. And then inhale, arms side or front. I'll show that in a minute. Exhale, bend. Now have a look at your feet, make sure they're even. Inhale, side. Exhale, the other side. Okay, I'll try to cue this better. Inhale, center. Thinking the arms are side, but the torso center. I'm doing it with the arms ahead of me now. Exhale, release. That's a lot of work. Bending the other knee. Inhale, center. My arms in line with my ears or to the sides. Exhale, coming to the other side. Just keep this going. The arms, you could even have the arms behind you, just on your legs if it's too much, or one arm coming out. Exhale, release. And you can do this as well. It's a nice variation, neck and shoulders. Inhale, unfurling one arm. Exhale, tuck it behind, hands on the lower back. Inhale, other side. Exhale, release. So you can do those angel arms if you like. Both arms. And again, feel the strength and the stretch in the groin, the hips, and you're probably starting to get fairly warm. This is not easy. Just finishing up. And exhale, forward bend, just rest now. Let's work with neck and shoulders, hands in front of you. Inhale, arch up. My weight is on my hands. If it hurts the wrist, just try turning the hands out until it doesn't hurt the wrists. Exhale, bend the knees and decompress the spine. Inhale, arching forward. Exhale, lengthening and bring your weight back. I'm bending the knees to decompress the lower back and get into the hips a bit more. Modification for neck and shoulders. And just finishing up. And maybe just staying here with the arms in front, stretching under the armpits. Maybe the legs are straight now, or they could be bent. When you've had enough, just gradually coming up with a long spine halfway. Exhale, stay. My legs are bent. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, finding your samasthiti. And you're probably a bit warm now because that was quite a bit of work. Notice how you feel in your feet now. So for those of you who have done downhill skiing, at this point I kind of feel like that feeling in my feet after a day of downhill skiing. They feel quite heavy. And notice if you can feel maybe that foot or that leg you couldn't feel as much at the beginning of the class. Can you feel it more now? More evenness in the hips. Okay, so we're going to do another one, which is strength and stretch. And this is another one that is fitness inspired that I got from a physio a number of years ago for my hips and then yogified it. So I hope you enjoy this. I showed it to my teacher in India the last trip and I was like, how's my breathing? He's like, yeah, it's good. So always fun to create some new material. Inhale, the arms coming up in your full Tadasana. And exhale, bring one foot forward as you bend the back knee a little bit or a lot. Inhale, can you come back to the center? Exhale, release. Now, if this is too much, I've got a ledge here that I'm going towards. So I put my hands there, and we worked on this, I think, before. Inhale, arms up. I'm going to do the other side. Exhale. I'm going to hold on to that ledge or that chair just to help me. Inhale up, and can I step back? And exhale, release. All right, if this is still feeling too much, just do this. While we do this exercise, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, and then switch sides when you're ready, okay? So pick your modification. This is challenging, All right? Okay, so pick your modification, get your chair or whatever you need to do this safely for your body. Let's give it a shot. All right, so I'll show it side. We'll start with front and then I'm gonna move to the back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, coming front. Inhale, up. Exhale, front. Inhale, up. Exhale, front. Inhale, up. This is really using those glutes. Exhale. One of you asked for glute strengthening. Oh. I'm like, oh, I think I should be doing this one a bit more. I no longer have hip pain, but for a couple of years I had chronic hip pain, so I had to really explore the hips. And this was one of the exercises that helped me get there. And for me, it was all about strength, to my great surprise. And one more. And take a break. Whew, you should be getting more. Okay, now we're going to try stepping back. So inhale, and then eventually you can do front and back, but we'll try that next week. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring that foot back. Inhale, stepping forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, center. Exhale, back. Again, notice if one side's different than the other. Again, you can modify this with the ledge, or a chair or a countertop. It's much easier. So keep that going. Or this one, inhale up, exhale, step back. Keep your front knee tracking over that second toe. This is fairly important because you're loading quite a bit on your knee. And just finishing up. And notice if one side is harder than the other. And release, and you should be feeling pretty warm. And take a break. And more importantly, that side of your body that perhaps you weren't feeling before, that hip, that leg, are you starting to feel your weight in that side? When you're back in your samasthiti, maybe bring your feet together. You might be able to feel that a bit more. Do your feet feel as one? Just let your breath settle. Let it slow down. Let the heart rate come back to neutral. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. All right. So we're going to work with some squats now. We call these in yoga Utkatasana. So I'm going to start very simply, and then you can add on if you like. So feet apart. Sometimes I do this with a belt on my thighs and I press into that belt. You can also do it with a TerraBand and press out into it just to use those abductors a bit more, pressing out and create some space for the hip. So that's one option. Inhale, arms to the sides. And exhale, I want you to imagine, we've been doing this the last few weeks to ground. I want you to imagine you're hugging a tree and feel both feet evenly. And feel that downward flow of energy, that apana energy. How far can you go? Trying to keep my toes free. They're up a little bit. Inhale, standing in your Tadasana. Arms side. This is neck and shoulders added on here. Exhale, bend the knees. Hug that tree. Bringing my weight back. And I am looking down. Inhale, opening. This is also can be really nice for the knees, tracking of the knees, keeping the knees tracking towards those second toes. So just watching that, adjust your feet so that your knees are tracking towards the second toe. Depends on the shape of your leg bones, your alignment of your feet. I've got my little toe sides aligned. That works for me. For some people with the bones in their lower legs, this doesn't work. They need to adjust the feet. Keep those knees tracking forward. Now, if this is still too much, you could be holding a chair or a ledge as you go down. That takes some of the weight out. So you can hold that chair or ledge as you do this. It'll make it easier. Countertop. Okay, so take a break. You can keep that going, or I'm going to take you to the wall now. So put your back at the wall. And this is for strength. So you could, if you want to work on adduction, the inner thighs, you could put a block between the thighs as you do this one. So the first one, we're working with the belt and pressing out. This one you can hug in. So sliding down that wall, it's okay if I can't see you. Just find a wall. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. Coming halfway. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. So I'm doing this arm movement to keep you entertained, but it's also working the back. Now, if this is too much, don't come down as far. It takes a lot of weight off my knees if I come up higher. Now, every time you feel like you've had enough, just come out of it and then start again. So this is strengthening for the legs, for the hips, lower back. It's also great for strengthening the quads, for knee alignment, potentially. Ardha Utkatasana, half squat. And after about 6 of those, straighten the back, straighten, coming up. And then you're gonna start coming forward. You might bend your knees a little bit or a lot as you come forward. I'm gonna try to bring my rib cage forward on my thighs. And I'm gonna straighten my legs. You don't have to. We're gonna stay here. Inhale, arching up as you slide your hands up your legs a little bit or a lot. Exhale, forward bend. You might be bending your knees as you come forward or even the whole time. If this forward bend's not working for you, just pick another one that you know does. So counter pose. And just stay now. Can you just stay and relax? Don't lengthen the breath, just go into breath awareness. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Coming out of this, just very slowly, walking your hands up your legs, bending your knees as needed. Inhale halfway up, exhale, stay. Inhale the rest of the way up. And just rest here for a moment. Let the breath come back to even. When you're ready, pressing away from the wall, finding your samsthiti. And notice how you feel. All right. We're going to do one last set. This one is balance, a bit more than even before, and movement of the hips. So inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, stand on one leg. Start with whatever feels like your easy side. And bring that leg up. My knees bent, my hands are in the center, palms down. Inhale, open up. I've got my palms facing up now, but you can have them down. Opening up and pulling up on that standing leg. So you're really standing, you're not going off to the side. Whew. Exhale, center. Inhale, kick that leg back as you bring your arms up, maybe palms together, kicking that leg back. I keep my torso fairly long. And exhale, samsthiti, even standing pose. We're gonna do that on the other side. You'll get used to the sequence. Inhale, arms up. This one's straight from Chennai in India. Exhale, center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Inhale, extend back. Have the arms apart or together. Try to drop that extended hip down. Stand on that leg. Exhale, samsthiti. That's one round. We're going to try to do 6. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So when I do that exhale to the center, I really feel my core drawing to the center. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Stand. Really stand. Inhale. Open. Exhale. Gather to the center. Start to exhale before you start to move. Inhale. Exhale. Now I'm really standing and I'm drawing that hip back and down. Inhale. Exhale. Each part of the movement, doing it very slowly. Working those tiny little stabilizing muscles. Inhale. And working mindfully. Coordinating breath, body. Inhale. With attention. Exhale. Really standing on that leg and then placing the foot down. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Rest. Samastiti. Even standing. Take a minute to remember your intention at the beginning of the class. Okay, so we're going to end with an Uttanasana, forward bend. We're just going to stay now. Inhale, arms coming to the sides. Exhale, coming forward. You could do this with your hands at a chair or on a table rather than all the way down. You could use blocks under your hands. You can have your hands forward. You can bend your knees. We're just going to stay here. You could do this seated in a chair if you prefer. Find your Uttanasana. Just stay here or add some movement. Inhale, sthiti up. Exhale, forward bend. Just to add a little bit of dynamic movement to the pose. It might help you get into it. Or if you're ready, just stay. Place your hands where you will. First two fingers in the big toes. Hands by your sides. Or perhaps hands on the heels. Calves. Move into breath awareness. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Make sure your rib cage is forward on your thighs so you're lengthening through the lower back. Belly is on your thighs. If your belly's not on your thighs, bend your knees until it is. And when you're ready, make it down to your back and rest. I'm just going to get my carpet. It's a little chilly these days, so just adjust my camera down so you can see me a bit better. Bring that straight. Looks pretty straight. Is that straight, guys? Yeah, it's okay. My camera's like this. It's very odd. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so it's lying down. Just taking a rest. You might want to put on some layers. I don't know about you, but I got pretty warm during that standing series. You guys asked for strength work, so you got it. Just resting here. And when you feel ready, after just a little bit of rest, start moving side to side with your legs. So we're going to really take it easy. In the supine practice, we're going to work more with flexibility. We're going to go on the Sukham side of things, the easy side. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. You can bring neck and shoulders into this by rotating the opposite hand down. Feel that in the shoulders. Inhale, palms facing up, and exhale, opposite palm down. So the hand away from the knees twisting, you put that down. And then you can add a very small turn of the head. Just want to be a little bit careful of the neck here. So you won't have perfect alignment if you're just going side to side, but we'll perfect it when we stay. You can align the head by bringing the back of the head back as you turn the head. So that's much better alignment if you can manage that. Exhale, back of the head coming towards the side my knees are on. Turning the head. These are add-ons for the neck and shoulders. Now we're just going to stay on one side. And as you inhale, I want you to tuck the tail under and press the hips to the side. You'll feel that into the opposite shoulder as well. And exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen the front of the hip, that outside hip, top hip, exhale, release. Just keep that going, slight movement. Getting into the hip flexor, the psoas, the thigh. Do the other side, inhale, center, exhale, other side. Notice if one hip feels different than the other. Inhale, tucking the tail under and pressing my hips towards the side that my knees are on. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, release. And I'm feeling it into my opposite shoulder as well. So the height of the arms depends on you. You can play with any height that feels good for you of your hands. The palms, classically, they're usually done down. I prefer them up from my shoulders. So I'm a bit biased in how I teach it, but please feel free to adjust that. You might feel better with your palms down. Notice where you feel this. You can sometimes feel this into the knee, that top leg. Some tightness in the thighs, hip is affecting your knees. Let's just notice that. That's perhaps helping one of your knees. And then when you're ready, coming out of that. And we're going to bring the feet a little wider. This is more about the thigh into the hip. Inhale, center, exhale, bring that knee down. The other knee stays up. And I bring the knee down towards my big toe. So I can get a nice stretch through the front of the hip into the thigh, down to the knee. Really stretch it down. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. Just keep this going your own time. And notice if one side feels tighter than the other. And this might be different. This might be on a different hip than, for example, you might have one hip that's hard to turn out. But when you turn in, it might be the opposite hip. So just notice that, and that there might be a relationship there, and you go see a physiotherapist to delve into that. They are experts in figuring all those things out, which can be really helpful for us to know, to get those diagnoses. So if you're a little bit confused about exactly what's going on biomechanically, physiotherapists, physical therapists can really help you figure that out. And then you can let me know about that. And I can perhaps give you some suggestions. Now, if it's comfortable, just staying on one side, start with your easy side if you can figure out what that is, and just stay there. And you can add on by bringing that top foot on top of the thigh. You might want to have a block or a pillow underneath that that top leg, just to take some pressure off. Or if you want to work a bit more, you can play with that. I'm just keeping that movement going. Inhale, bring the hips towards the knee side. Exhale, release. So that's one variation. Another variation is that opposite leg. So that, not this one, but the top leg. I'm going to walk that foot back a little bit and get more into my thigh. So if I walk my heel back towards my buttocks, even just a little bit, sometimes you can get into that thigh. And tight thighs can cause issues in the alignment of the hips, so just be aware of that if that is your situation. So that's the version I'm going to take. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can bring it all the way back. And I'll just show this in case some of you are yoga teachers. So I'm bringing the foot beside me. And this is similar to this pose, Supta Virasana. It's a Ekapada variation. If you're a yoga teacher, you might know what that means. Now whatever version you've picked, can you really breathe here? I'll show you one more version with the knee facing up, so that can help align the pelvis a bit more. Put a hand under that hip, that knee upside. Just decide which version is going to feel good for you today. The arms coming up. You can always have a pillow, small pillow or blanket under the head. Your chin tends to come to the sky, do add that. We're going to release this and go to the other side. So I'll start with all those variations, modifications. Inhale, center, exhale, knees coming to the other side. So step one is you can just stay here. Step two, you can bring that top foot over the thigh. And you can make that movement of the hips. Step three, I'm uncrossing, bringing that heel just a little bit back. So it can just be a little bit back. I'm trying to keep my thighs straight from an alignment of my hip bone to my knee. Or don't do this if you haven't done it before. This is quite intense. This is Supta Virasana, Ekapada variation, knee facing up, placing the same hand as knee up underneath the knee. Or I've added this piece, opening the hip, arms up if you like. Pick your medicine and stay in the asana. Just stay there and breathe. You can play with which version is going to help you most today. Slow the breath down. Perhaps counting the breath, inhale 4 to 10 seconds, exhale the same. And when you feel you're complete, just coming out of that, coming to a counter pose, knees to chest. If you find this hard to do, you can take a very small block of these soft blocks or a slim pillow and put it under the back, top edge no higher than the waist. Bring the knees to the chest. And variation for the hips, crossing one knee over the other. You draw the legs in and get into that IT band. Piriformis. This can be pretty intense. Ooh, I'm really feeling that one today. You can hold opposite feet as well. Just play with what variation is going to serve you best today. This is a Supta Gomukhasana. So this is classically done seated. I really like this variation and changing sides, and it can be used as a counter pose as well. Adjust the angle of where the lower legs is according to your hips, the shape of your hips, the bones themselves, the tightness in the hips, muscles. One side might be very different than the other. Can you find your asana where you can just stay and rest and just go into breath awareness? And release. And you can do that one without the block. I like that one with the block. Just give me a little bit more range of motion. Just going to try a very simple hip opener, moving towards our last position. So just having one leg starting with the easy side crossed over the other and around the ankle and opening the hip here. And then exhale, bring that leg across with the other hand, bring the hip across. And then inhale, open. Exhale, cross. If this feels too easy for you, you can do the ubiquitous figure 4 pose. I'm going to use the block underneath to help me get a bit more range of motion through my lower back. Again, angle that foot down. If you feel any strain in the inner knee, bring that top foot down until you feel no strain in the knee. You do not want to feel this in the knee at all. So this is my easy side. So when you go to your harder side, it might be quite different. And hold through, or I just like to hold underneath the thigh. That's helping the top hip open. And then switching sides. So we're just going to start with that opening and closing. I do this without the block. Inhale, open, and root that opposite hip down so you're not twisting the pelvis. So I'm rooting that standing leg hip down. Inhale, open, exhale, bring it across with the opposite hand. Inhale, same arm as leg, opening and rooting the opposite hip down. Exhale across. You can keep with that, or you can move into your figure four. I'm adding the block for myself. You might not need that. I'm placing same hand as lower leg under the knee. And I'm adjusting that top foot until I feel it in the hip, not in the inner knee. Inhale away, exhale towards you. And hold the foot. And you might extend that top leg. So this is actually a classical pose in yoga, this position. It's usually done standing, but it can be done like this. When you're ready, just hugging both knees into the chest and staying. Got knee issues, hold underneath the knees. Perhaps remove that block. Just go into happy baby, holding under the thighs, calves, or the feet, and decompress the lower back. Keep the shoulders down, whatever version you've chosen. I've got my little toe side of my feet aligned. When you feel complete, move into your Shavasana, relaxation. Or you could decide to sit in meditation if you prefer to sit. We just had a full moon, so I'm going to just suggest you imagine there's a huge moon shining above you. Perhaps you're floating in some warm water. Perhaps you feel the reflection of that moon all around you. And you're lying in that juicy moonlight. Yoga, we call this energy soma, the energy of the moon, soma, or in Ayurveda, ojas, vitality, immunity. It's that glow that pregnant women have. You see it in meditators, spiritual practitioners, yogis, hopefully, this glow of health in mind and body. Just drawing that into yourself, nourishing the mind, the body, feeling that fullness. Continue doing that as I chant to you about the moon and the soma. Meditating on the moon is done to nourish the mind, the emotions. Shataya sampatante somena saharagya. Shataya sampatante somena saharagya, somena saharagya, somena saharagya, somena saharagya, somena saharagya. Inhale so, exhale ma, drawing in that light of the moon, that ojas, that vitality, the calm, clear mind reflecting the light or the sun of the soul. Completely aligned, the moon with the sun when it's full, the mind with the soul completely aligned, so it radiates that light. Inhale so, exhale ma. And when you're ready, starting to increase the length of your breath. Starting to move your hands, your feet. Perhaps bringing your knees in towards your chest, rocking side to side. Coming to one side, perhaps your right side, to activate that left receptive moon side, the Chandra side of the body. Coming up to seated position to close. Bringing the hands to the heart. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May everyone, everywhere, experience joy, authentic happiness that comes from being aligned with the heart. Namaste. Thank you very much.